22 American wire gauge. You're gonna want something like a carabiner to hook this from, something smooth that's not gonna scratch off the enamel. So you wanna unroll about 16 feet with it overlapped. You could do 17 just to be sure, because you don't wanna go under and be short at the end. It is wrapped around itself nice and tight so it doesn't come undone. So I'm gonna tension it. I'm gonna rotate around. You could do this with a drill if you wanted to. I have 3 spools. I have A, B, and C, and this is gonna help us with our winding pattern when we get back and we start winding the wire to the stator core. So I'm gonna start like this, and then I'll just wrap this up, and I'll do that for the other lines too. Take us a little painter's tape and tape that on. So now we've got our wire spooled. I've put an image on the screen. Diagrams how to start this. You need to follow the order that it starts. So this is the wiring diagram that I'm following. There is a link that I'll eventually put in the description that you can follow along with. As it shows you your start position for A, right here, start position for B, and start position for C. So if you'll zoom in, if you're using your phone like I do, you notice it starts to the outside of this pole on A, then it does its wraps, and then it comes out on this side. It starts its position on the outside of this one, and then works its way, and then that crosses over as it goes to the next position for A being red. This one's going to come in and start from the inside and come outside so that it overlaps, but you get the idea. I won't be able to describe that very well as I make the video, so I kind of wanted to show you. But notice when you start A, you're going to have 4 blank poles with no wires wrapped around them in between your A sections, your A poles. And that pattern will repeat all the way through. Before you get started, you'll want to mark your start position some way. I want something that'll tell me where are my ends starting at, especially my A position. Now this is dark. You may want something a little bit lighter, but I know that that'll stand out and I'll be able to find it as I'm looking for it. I'm gonna start A. I'm gonna look at my pattern. I'm gonna leave extra wire. Notice how I laid this down to the outside of that pole. That's how it's indicated here. So you see the start position is this first one there, number 1, and it goes to the outside. So I've got to do 20 turns of wire, but this wire is overlapped, so I just need to do 10 turns. So there's 1 full turn, 9, and 10 full turns. Now you really want to take some time to get this right. You may want a piece of paper to write. Yeah, I did 10 there. Now that's actually 20 turns because we doubled this wire. We wrapped it around. Now I'm going to look at how this one begins. So now notice we started here to the outside of 1, and now we're coming across. We're going to start to the outside, closer to the blue over here, and begin our wraps from the outside in on this one. 9 and 10. Now let's look at this again. So we're going to skip these 4 poles. We're going to go to this red one. Now notice this one comes all the way across, and instead of from outside in, it's going to go from the inside out on its wraps. 1, 2, 9. And then I'm going to pull that one all the way down to the bottom because it has to come across here. Now we want to look at this each time. This is the one we're on. We just finished number 7. This one has to go from the inside out. So we're going to bring that around, and then we'll do our 10 wraps there. And 10. Now I'm not going to do each one of these on the video, or this will be a very, very long video. If this wire gets in your way, pull it to the other side when you finish these right now. But you get the idea. You'll have 2, 4, 6, and then you'll skip 4 here, and then 8. Be done with A, and we'll be able to tuck the out over there. So I'm just gonna start this next one, and that's where A will end. When you start B, you're gonna start it right next to where you started A. And make sure you follow the pattern on the way it wraps around the pole. Same thing on C. Now, your 3 lines that are here are not wrapped together. But you'll see on the wiring diagram, when you end those are wrapped and soldered together. So here's a common mistake, and this is why I said make sure you have enough wire. This one was almost too short. My torch, because it's easier than scraping them, when they're separate before they're together, and burn off that enamel. And I would do that for each one. Here's a little enamel I can still burn off. See how it stayed lit? Burn that enamel off. The 3 that were ends, don't wrap those together. The 3 that were outs, wrap those together. There's gonna be a core that goes to the center. Those wires are gonna go through that. I showed it in my other video on how to set that up. Green wire is gonna be center, yellow and red to the outside. Make sure they're not touching the enamel so that they can get a good connection. If you don't like the direction of travel, meaning maybe it's going clockwise and you want it to go counterclockwise, you'll switch the yellow and the red as long as green is the center one coming off your electronic control system. Ends are what you attach the wire to. And the 3 outs are clustered together, wired together, soldered if you need to, and then they can stay inside.